What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. Vasily Lomachenko puts together another brilliant performance against Richard Commey, and it was expected. I don't think many people were picking Richard Commey to win this fight anyway, but everything was on display last night. The footwork, the angles, the speed, the high ring IQ, it was all there. He's still very much, in my opinion, the best fighter at 135 pounds. And I think he sort of, in a lot of ways, solidified that last night. Now, I already know what the naysayers are going to say. They're going to say, well, he lost to Salido. He lost to Teofimo Lopez. He's overrated. This, that, and the other. Whatever sort of reason people are going to give to discredit Lomachenko. But listen, I said it in my last video. I'm going to say it again. If you compare Lomachenko's resume and body of work to any of these other top lightweights, it does not even come close. It doesn't even come close. Now, that's I'm sort of stating the obvious, given that a lot of these young lightweights have less experience, right? And they're being built up in more of a business manner. And really, the main guy that I'm talking about is Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is being built more as an attraction and less of a top-level elite competitive type of fighter. He produces knockouts. He's aesthetically pleasing to watch. He is talented. He is a very good fighter. But he's being put in there with guys that have just enough of a name that is somewhat recognizable. And he's being put in there with good fighters, solid fighters, but not elite-level fighters, And he's maintaining and protecting that undefeated record. That's the priority, protecting his undefeated record so they can use that undefeated record as, I guess, like a marketing campaign. He's undefeated, because that means everything in boxing nowadays. It means more than, unfortunately, your resume. Gervonta Tank Davis is arguably a bigger name than Vasily Lomachenko. And his resume is absolute garbage next to Lomachenko's resume. It's not even close. Lomachenko's accolades are in another universe compared to Davis's. But unfortunately, that's just the way the sport of boxing is now. It very much is business dominant. But I don't want to get off track here. Lomachenko, great performance against Commey. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes next. I would imagine there's really nowhere else to go. He's going to end up fighting one of the top guys. Whether it is Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, which I highly doubt for obvious reasons, Devin Haney, or George Kambosos. Now, Kambosos has been pretty vocal, and it seems like he's sort of swaying in the direction of fighting Lomachenko next. From what it seems like to me, now this is purely my own speculation. Comment if you guys disagree. Let me know what your opinion is. But I believe that George Kambosos believes that Lomachenko is the best lightweight in the division. And I think he believes that if he beats Lomachenko, that's going to put just, basically the nail in the coffin, that he is absolutely the best lightweight and it's undisputed. Which is sort of ironic to people because, obviously Devin Haney has that additional belt that Kambosos does not have. And there's a huge argument going on right now whether or not Kambosos is truly undisputed. Now, I don't really want to get into that. There's just too many semantics. I don't want to waste time on it. Personally, I believe that Kambosos probably should fight Devin Haney just to put that problem to bed, to put it to rest, and you know what? And I will say, in terms of fans' perspective, right, is really everything. Perspective is the whole the consciousness of the boxing world. The mass consciousness of the boxing world is in turn kind of the reality of what's happening, right? Does that make sense? I have a lack of words right now. I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. The consensus right now is that Kambosos is undisputed or he isn't undisputed. It's kind of 50-50 right down the middle. Therefore, there is a dispute So I wouldn't say that Kambosos, maybe on paper he is undisputed, okay? Maybe on paper he's undisputed, but according to roughly 50% of all boxing fans, he's not. So why not fight Devin Haney, okay? If you're that confident in your ability and your skills, fight Devin Haney, beat Devin Haney, and then go on to fight Lomachenko. It's just how, I fully support Canelo Alvarez and everything he has done so far with his career, how he's managed his career. He's seeking greatness on a consistent basis, fighting world champion after world champion. I'm a big Canelo fan. Again, I'm not a fanboy, but I do fanboy for greatness. And that's what he's doing right now. He's put together a fantastic run, and he's continuing it by taking a dramatic, huge risk going up to cruiserweight to fight Makabu. However you pronounce his name. I think it's Makabu. However, personally, I somewhat disagree with it. It doesn't mean that it's not a risk, and it doesn't mean that it's not an admirable move on Canelo Alvarez's part, but personally, I somewhat disagree with it. And the reason I disagree with it is because, again, the consensus amongst a lot of boxing fans, whether they're right or wrong, is that he's ducking David Benavidez. Now, if I'm Canelo, I would take a look at that and say, you know what? I know I can beat Benavidez, no problem. It seems to be what a lot of, if not the majority of boxing fans, it seems like the fight that they want to see. Why don't I appease my fans? Why don't I appease the fans and just make it happen and starch Benavidez? Then after that, let's see what the fans are calling for. And if they're not calling for anything in particular, then I'll go to cruiserweight and try to capture a belt there. And I'm not saying Canelo hasn't earned his right to do what he wants, because he has. But I'm just saying, personally, if I'm at the level of Canelo, if I'm at the highest level of the sport, I would honor the fans more so than, more so than exercising my independence and doing what I want. You know what I mean? If there's that much controversy around a particular fight not happening, I would just take it. But that's just me. That's what I believe Canelo should have done. But I also, I definitely think highly of the move, because that is a gargantuan risk going against your cruiserweight. But I digress. So, back to Lomachenko, back to the lightweight division. It's going to be interesting to see what Kambosos decides to do. If he decides to fight Lomachenko, I'm not going to be mad at it. It's a great fight. It's going to give the fighter who I believe is the best in the division another chance to capture the belts. So it's essentially just as satisfying as him getting a rematch with Teofimo Lopez, the rematch he never got, that he deserved. So, it might be in some ways destiny for Lomachenko if he ends up fighting Kambosos, but we'll see what happens. All these top lightweights, they need to fight each other. That's just the bottom line. That's what we all want. We want these top lightweights to fight each other. So hopefully we get it. Hopefully we get, if we don't get Lomachenko Kambosos, hopefully we get Devin Haney and Kambosos, and then hopefully Lomachenko can maybe fight the likes of Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, somebody else in the process. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and until the next time.